I used to wake up every morning feeling like I hadn't slept at all. My body was heavy, my mind foggy, and my heart restless. Even after 7 or 8 hours in bed, I felt like I had been running a marathon all night. At first, I told myself it was just age. After all, I had just turned 63, and isn't that what everyone says? You're getting older, George. Sleep doesn't come easy anymore. But deep down, I knew something wasn't right. Because it wasn't just tiredness, it was something deeper. I'd wake up with my heart racing, my mouth dry, and my thoughts scattered like broken glass. I'd sit on the edge of my bed, looking at the window, wondering why rest had become so impossible. Mary, my wife, noticed it too. "You toss and turn all night," she said one morning. "You even talk in your sleep now." I didn't remember any of it, but I could feel the exhaustion in my bones. Something inside me was crying for rest. So I did what most people do. I tried everything. Sleeping pills, herbal teas, meditation apps, even that lavender spray my daughter swore by. Nothing worked. I would fall asleep for a while, then wake up at 2 a.m., staring into the dark, counting the hours until sunrise. One night, I sat up in bed and whispered to myself, "Why can't I just rest?" And that's when I realized maybe I was doing something wrong before bed. Maybe my nights were failing because of my evenings. That small thought changed everything, because what I discovered next, a simple before-bed ritual, didn't just help me sleep better. It gave me my life back.
I couldn't stop thinking about that night, how one small change made me sleep like I hadn't in years. So the next morning, coffee in hand, I decided to dig deeper. I wanted to know what really happens inside the body when we close our eyes and why it stops working so well after 60. As it turns out, our sleep isn't broken. It's simply misunderstood. See, our brains have something called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, a tiny clock buried deep behind our eyes. This little clock controls our entire sleep-wake cycle. But here's the problem. After 60, that clock starts losing its rhythm, not because of age itself, but because of light. Think about it. We used to rise with sunlight and rest after sunset. Now we drown in artificial light from phones, TVs, and screens that trick our brain into thinking it's still daytime. So when we finally lie down, our brain says, "Wait, isn't it noon? No wonder we can't sleep." I read a study from Harvard that said just 2 hours of screen exposure before bed can suppress melatonin, the sleep hormone, by almost 70%. 70%! That's like trying to sleep with your body's off switch disabled. And here's the cruel irony. The older we get, the less melatonin we naturally produce. So when we add light exposure, late eating, and caffeine, we're basically robbing our body of the one chemical it desperately needs to rest. That realization hit me hard. I had been blaming my age, when really it was my habits. That night, I made more changes. I dimmed every light in the house after dinner. I swapped my phone for an old paperback book. And instead of my usual midnight snack, I drank a warm cup of chamomile with magnesium, something my doctor said helps calm the nervous system. Then I did my temperature drop ritual again. Warm shower, cool room, slow breathing. It felt like my body knew exactly what to do this time. Within minutes, my eyes grew heavy, and my mind drifted, peaceful and still. The next morning, I didn't just feel rested, I felt renewed. I walked to the kitchen, humming quietly, something I hadn't done in years. Mary looked at me and smiled. "You look younger," she said, half joking. But she wasn't wrong. Because sleep, as I learned, is the ultimate healer. It's not just rest, it's repair. During deep sleep, your brain flushes out toxins, your cells rebuild, and your heart resets its rhythm. When you lose deep sleep, you lose your body's ability to heal itself. That's why so many seniors feel older than they really are. They're not aging faster, they're just not recovering at night. And the worst part? Lack of sleep mimics the signs of aging: wrinkles, forgetfulness, low energy, and even high blood pressure. We mistake these symptoms as getting old, when in truth, we're just sleep deprived. My doctor once told me something that stuck in my mind. You don't grow old when you turn 60. You grow old when you stop recovering. So I made it my mission to recover again. I started treating my nights as medicine, not just empty hours between days. I even began journaling before bed, just a few lines, nothing fancy. Writing down my worries helped me release them, so my brain didn't carry them into my dreams. It was strange how peaceful it felt to unburden my thoughts onto paper. And slowly, my sleep transformed from something I dreaded into something sacred. But the most surprising change of all wasn't physical, it was emotional. I started remembering my dreams again, little pieces of my subconscious, gentle memories, old songs, the faces of people I missed began to return in my sleep. It felt like my soul was finally resting too. That's when I knew this wasn't just about sleep. This was about harmony, restoring the balance between body, mind, and spirit. But as my energy came back, I started noticing something else, something strange that made me question everything I thought I knew about rest. Because despite sleeping better, some mornings I'd still wake up groggy. It wasn't every day, but it was enough to make me wonder what was happening inside my body while I slept. And that curiosity led me to one final discovery, the missing piece of the puzzle, the real reason why so many seniors wake up tired, no matter how long they sleep. And once I learned what it was, I never had a bad night's sleep again.
It started subtly. Despite sleeping deeply, I sometimes woke up feeling foggy, almost like I hadn't slept at all. My heart would beat a little faster, my mouth dry, and I'd catch myself gasping slightly, as if I'd forgotten to breathe in my sleep. I brushed it off at first. Maybe it was just aging, I thought. But one morning, Mary said something that froze me. "You know," she said softly, "you snore, but sometimes you just stop, completely. Then you suddenly jerk and gasp like you're fighting for air." That hit me like a thunderclap. Could it be sleep apnea? I went to my doctor that week. They ran a few tests, nothing painful, just a monitor overnight, and sure enough, the results came back positive. I wasn't just snoring, I was losing oxygen while I slept. Imagine that. Every few minutes, your brain wakes up just enough to gasp for air, but not enough for you to realize it. You think you've been sleeping all night, but your body's been fighting to survive. The doctor said something I'll never forget. Your oxygen is your true source of rest. Without it, sleep becomes stress. He explained that millions of seniors struggle with this and don't even know it. Low nighttime oxygen means your heart works overtime, your brain never reaches deep sleep, and your cells can't fully repair. It's like running a marathon in your dreams. But here's the part that surprised me most. He said I could naturally improve my oxygen flow before bed, without any machines. All it took was what he called the oxygen ritual. It began with breathing. Slow, deep, rhythmic breaths. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 6. That extra exhale helps release trapped carbon dioxide, allowing more oxygen to flow in the next breath.
Then he asked me to open my windows for 10 minutes before bed, even in winter. Fresh air, he said, keeps oxygen levels stable through the night. Never sleep in stale air, he warned. He also recommended something I never expected, sleeping slightly on my side instead of my back. Apparently, lying flat can cause the tongue to fall back and block airflow. Such a small change, but the effect was incredible. That night I tried it all: my breathing ritual, open window, cool air, side sleeping. I closed my eyes and felt something new, a lightness in my chest, like I could finally breathe again. It wasn't just sleep, it was freedom. The next morning I woke before sunrise, not tired, not groggy, but clear, calm, and strangely happy. I felt younger, alive in a way I hadn't felt in years. Even Mary noticed the glow on my face. From that day forward, my nights became sacred. Warm shower, dim light, deep breathing, fresh air, gratitude journal, bed by 10. Simple steps, yet each one felt like a quiet promise to my body: I'm giving you the rest you deserve. And over time, everything began to change. My blood pressure normalized, my memory sharpened, even my morning walks felt lighter, smoother. I wasn't just sleeping better, I was living better. Sometimes I think about all those years I thought exhaustion was just part of getting old. But now I know it was never age. It was imbalance. Our bodies want to heal, they just need the right rhythm to do it. So if you're over 60 and you wake up tired, remember this: it's not too late to reset your nights and reclaim your mornings. Because restful sleep isn't a luxury, it's your birthright. And sometimes all it takes is a breath, a moment, a small ritual before bed to wake up to life again. This is your reminder tonight: breathe deeply, dim the lights, and give your body the gift it's been waiting for all along: peace.